It is time to restructure Nigeria, Obasanjo says. I know that saying this, a lot of Nigerians were asking, you were a president for 8 years as a civilian president. Why did you not restructure Nigeria? Why are you saying it now? That is the question that will come to him. And that is a very relevant question because he had the opportunity to restructure Nigeria both as a military head of state between 1976 and 1979, and then as president of Nigeria between 1999 and 2007. And he didn't do it. So why is he saying it now? That will be the very relevant question that will come to him. And even in restructuring Nigeria now, what role is he going to play? What can he do? How can he help to see that it's done? Or is it just going to end in talking? Those are the relevant questions that we should ask Obasanjo now. We all know that it is time to restructure Nigeria, but this statement will be more acceptable if it's coming from someone who has never had the opportunity of restructuring Nigeria before now. But for him, who had the opportunity for 8 years as president to restructure Nigeria and did not do it, I think does not have the moral right to say it now because he failed in his own part. Or is it now that his eyes are opening? Those are the questions that he needs to answer. Lamenting the continuous cycle of poor governance in Nigeria, the former president emphasized the imperative of addressing these systemic issues for the nation's progress. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has expressed his support for the need to restructure Nigeria, emphasizing that the prevalence of ineffective system of administration is detrimental to any country's governance. Speaking in Enugu over the weekend during the public presentation of the book In Brotherhood We Stand, a roadmap for the rebirth of a fragmented nation, authored by engineer Chris Okoye, Obasanjo highlighted the urgency of restructuring. So the event took place in the Emmanuel Gardens Independent Layout in Enugu with Obasanjo serving as the chairman. Lamenting the continuous cycle of poor governance in Nigeria, the former president emphasized the imperative of addressing these systemic issues for the nation's progress. In his words, the clarion call in Nigeria today is one for restructuring and a reassessment of the terms of our union as a nation. No matter how economically viable a nation is, bad governance and a wrong system of administration can bring it down, as there is a direct correlation between economic and political reforms. Our historical experience at constitution making and political reform show that we may have some structural defects that require adjustment so as to continue to constrain the deepening, widening, and consolidation of democratic values and practices. Indeed, some of the contradictions and challenges bequeathed by the colonial administration have continued to pose problems for us to this day. So as things stand, therefore, our constitution making efforts must go down the grassroots to deal with the issues of inclusion, popular participation, ownership, and legitimacy. So all this one now that Obasanjo is talking now, the question is, you had the opportunity of being a president of Nigeria for 8 years and had the opportunity of doing these reforms. Are you telling us that you did not foresee all of this? Are you telling us that you did not look into the future to see whether the system of government we're adopting is sustainable? And you are saying all of this now. I don't think he's completely right. I tell you, it will only be right if it's coming from someone who has never been in power before, but not from people like him that has been a president and had the opportunity to fix these issues but did not. Okay. Somebody saying, I believe the best is to go our separate ways because the Northerners will never want true restructuring that will not make the South their food and second-class citizen slave. Exactly. So the Northerners are actually the enemy of restructuring as far as Nigeria is concerned, because they know that if they restructure Nigeria, they are probably going to suffer the most. Right now, they're eating free from the basket of the nation, while other regions generating the revenue, they are suffering. That is the truth. And some people will say because the British has also made them believe that for them to remain relevant in Nigeria, they have to continuously cling to power. That is the only way, because there's no other thing they have, and there's no other way they can contribute to the growth of the nation. As I was saying, from Obasanjo's mouth, when he was president, why couldn't he do it? Only because he is no more having dictating power. These people takes Nigerians as a fool, and some foolish mind will agree with him. They only call for restructuring when they are not in the scheme of things again. Nonsense talk. He reached to insult him, telling you. So because OBJ didn't do it, he must not talk for another government to do it, Abi. Was Nigeria like this during OBJ time? Most of you refuse to understand that change is constant. Tinubu was lamenting during OBJ to restructure Nigeria. So where is Tinubu now? Is he not in the power to restructure Nigeria? The truth is that those who benefit from the corrupt system Nigeria is practicing, okay, and it favors them, does not want it to be changed or restructured, as they are afraid to lose their milking straw they use in making the country to themselves. That is true. That is true. As I was saying, permanent solution to Nigerian problem. Are you silent? Are you sincere? If yes, then let's reason together. Just take an honest look into Nigeria. Do you see the following? Unity among the tribes? No. The possibility of an end to looting? No. Any end to insurgents, banditry, and mindless killings? No. Any possible peace? No. Okay. Then the obvious signs are there. Our permanent solution is peaceful division, or we must expect unabated national disaster. Guess what? The suffering masses and their innocent kids will face 95% of such disaster when it unfolds. Democracy is a curse in Nigeria, and we don't need it. Now, during military, we had pipe-borne water, good electricity, etc. We need peaceful division. That's what this man is saying, and that is the truth. So everybody is saying divide Nigeria. It's only the North we say don't divide Nigeria, because they are afraid of surviving without Nigeria as an entity. Wow. So that is what is happening here. Obasanjo has said it, that Nigeria needs restructuring now. Why? A lot of people are saying, why are you saying it now? When it was the time, why didn't you do it? Others are saying change is constant. That he didn't do it in his time does not mean that he will keep quiet, and does not mean that it cannot be done by another administration. That's fine, but let's face the reality. Restructure Nigeria or divide Nigeria, one of the two is what we need. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comment.